For most of human history, wolves were monsters. If you were a human living 30,000 years ago, hearing wolves at night meant danger. You were small, slow, and surrounded by predators that could smell you from miles away. Wolves hunted in packs. They had massive jaws, terrifying endurance, and eyes that worked far better in the dark than yours ever could. And yet somehow, out of all the animals humans encountered, wolves became our closest companions. Not horses, not cows, not even primates, wolves. Today there are more than 900 million dogs on Earth. They sleep in our beds, guard our homes, detect bombs, herd sheep, rescue people from avalanches, and wear little birthday hats while sitting next to cakes. But dogs were never planned. No human tribe sat down and said, "We should invent a fluffy animal that plays fetch." Dogs were created by accident. And the strangest part is that wolves may have started domesticating themselves before humans even realized what was happening. To understand how this happened, you have to imagine the world during the Ice Age. Around 20,000 to 40,000 years ago, humans lived as hunter-gatherers. Small bands of maybe 20 to 50 people moved constantly across enormous landscapes searching for food. Life was brutal. Most hunts failed. Winter killed people constantly. A broken leg could mean death. And at the edge of every human camp, just outside the firelight, wolves waited. Now here's the important part. Humans are messy eaters. Even during starvation, hunter-gatherers left behind bones, scraps, skins, and partially eaten carcasses. To a wolf, a human camp was basically a moving pile of free calories. At first, wolves probably approached cautiously. The bold ones crept closer. The aggressive ones got speared. The terrified ones stayed far away and got nothing. But somewhere in those wolf populations, a few individuals were different. Less fearful, less aggressive, more curious. Modern genetics suggests some wolves may simply have been born more comfortable around humans, and over generations, those wolves survived better than the aggressive ones. Instead of risking injury hunting dangerous prey themselves, they could simply follow humans and eat leftovers near camp. Over time, evolution slowly filtered wolves based on personality. The friendlier wolves got more food. The calmer wolves stayed closer to camp. The hyper-aggressive wolves died. And eventually, those wolves began changing physically too. This sounds fake, but scientists have actually watched something similar happen in real time. In 1959, a Soviet geneticist named Dmitry Belyayev started an experiment in Siberia using foxes. He wanted to understand how domestication worked, so every generation he selected only the tamest foxes for breeding. That's it. He didn't train them. He didn't teach them tricks. He simply bred the least aggressive foxes over and over again. And within a few decades, the foxes started behaving like dogs. They wagged their tails. They whined for attention. They licked people's hands. But then something even stranger happened. Their bodies changed too. Their ears became floppy, their snouts shortened, their fur developed patches of white, their tails curled. And strangely, when animals become less aggressive, their appearance often changes too. Scientists noticed that domesticated animals across many species tend to develop softer faces, smaller jaws, patchier fur, and floppier ears almost automatically. The first proto-dogs may have started looking less intimidating long before humans intentionally bred them. Imagine standing in an Ice Age camp and seeing wolves nearby that looked slightly smaller, slightly calmer, slightly less terrifying than normal wolves. Not pets yet, but not fully wild anymore either. And this may not have happened in just one place. Humans and wolves were likely forming relationships across huge parts of the ancient world at the same time. For thousands of years, this happened silently, no human realizing they were watching evolution unfold beside their campfire. And humans probably noticed the benefits very quickly. Wolves hear things before humans do. They smell predators from huge distances. They track prey far better than humans can. A wolf hanging around camp was basically a living alarm system. If bears approached, the wolves reacted first. If strangers appeared, the wolves noticed. If prey animals were nearby, wolves could help locate them. Once both species started helping each other survive, the relationship accelerated. This is why dogs are considered the first domesticated animal in human history. Earlier than sheep, earlier than goats, earlier than farming itself. And when humans eventually invented agriculture, dogs changed again in order to stay alongside us. As humans began farming and eating more grains, dogs gradually evolved to digest starch far better than wolves could. Think about how extraordinary that is. They were surviving with us before the invention of writing, before cities, before metal tools, before the pyramids, and over thousands of generations, humans and dogs began changing each other emotionally too. When humans stare into a dog's eyes, both species release oxytocin, the same hormone deeply involved in bonding between parents and children. Wolves don't naturally do this with humans. Dogs do. Your Labrador staring at you lovingly is not random behavior. Evolution shaped dogs to emotionally connect with human brains. Dogs even evolved facial expressions that humans instinctively respond to. Those famous puppy dog eyes may have become more common simply because humans were more likely to care for dogs that looked emotionally expressive. Some anthropologists think dogs improved human hunting success so dramatically that humans with dogs simply survived better than humans without them. Dogs may have helped humans spread across the planet, but domestication also came with a cost. Dogs lost much of what made wolves wild. Many modern breeds suffer severe health problems caused by human breeding. Pugs struggle to breathe. Dachshunds often develop spinal problems. Bulldogs sometimes cannot even give birth naturally. And yet traces of the wolf still remain inside them. When dogs circle before lying down, they may be copying ancient wolves flattening grass. When they howl, bury food, or twitch in their sleep, instincts from thousands of years ago are still surfacing. Inside every Chihuahua and every Husky is the shadow of an Ice Age predator. And maybe that's why dogs feel so different from every other domesticated animal. Cats live near humans. Cows tolerate humans. Horses work with humans. But dogs joined humans. They slept beside us while predators circled beyond the firelight. They crossed frozen landscapes with us. They guarded sleeping camps. They followed us into storms, migrations, wars, and entirely new continents. And somewhere along the way, the relationship became something deeper than survival. In Germany, archaeologists discovered a grave from around 14,000 years ago containing a man, a woman, and a dog buried carefully beside them. The dog had suffered from a severe illness as a puppy but survived for weeks or months afterward, which means humans likely cared for it intentionally. Think about that for a second. Ice Age humans struggling to survive in one of the harshest environments imaginable were still spending precious food, time, and energy nursing a sick dog back to health. That is not just usefulness anymore. That is attachment, friendship, maybe even love. For thousands of generations, humans and dogs shaped each other's survival, all because a few wolves became slightly less afraid of campfires. No master plan, no grand invention. Just scraps beside a fire, cautious animals creeping closer in the dark, and evolution slowly turning fear into one of the greatest partnerships in the history of our species. And tonight, your best friend is probably going to fall asleep somewhere near you without knowing that this friendship actually began tens of thousands of years ago. But now you do.